So today's April 10th, 2020, and 11 years ago today I had an abortion. I wanted to share this story for a long time, and I just figured no better day than today. And just to begin, like, my point in sharing this story is to just shed light on this topic, and I know that it's a really dark experience for so many people, and it's really shame-ridden and guilt-ridden, and I hope that in sharing my experience I can kind of humanize the whole thing a little bit more, and just the more that we shed light on something, the less dark can be there. So I think that the more people share stories about it and the more people are talking about it, the less like dark it has to be. So just to start with that. But I was 15, I was about to be 16, and I was late on my period. I'd been dating someone for a while. It was the person I lost my virginity to. And I took a pregnancy test. It tested positive. I just went in my bed and cried. I skipped dinner. So my mom came upstairs and asked me what was wrong, and I just told her and just started bawling. So, but she held space for me. Like, she didn't judge me. I'm really, really fortunate with that. And if you're going through this experience right now, or you have gone through this experience, like, I just highly recommend sharing with a parent if that's an option, or just someone that loves you and that you love them. I think that's so important, and it's really, really essential in the healing process. And just, an abortion is traumatic enough. Like, you don't need to do it alone. You need to tell people. So if you get nothing else from this video, like, please, if you're in this experience, go tell someone. So she helped me, find the abortion clinic and get the appointment set up. I had to go a couple times before my actual abortion date to get ultrasounds and just check that, I was as far along as I said that I was. So the day of, we walk in, and it was in Oklahoma, so there was just a bunch of religious people outside with posters and just megaphones and saying abortion is murder and yelling at me and all that kind of stuff. So just sidebar, like, if you're pro-life, that's fucking awesome, and be that way. Don't get an abortion, but it's not on you to tell someone else what to do if they're pregnant, especially if you've never been in that position, because you can't be pro-life until you've been in that position. Like, you don't know what you would do. So I just want to make that a quick sidebar. But so we go in the clinic. They give me one more ultrasound before I go in for a procedure, and they told me I was too early in pregnancy to have the actual procedure. I think you need to be 6 weeks to have that, and I was only 4 or 5 weeks. So they sent me home with an abortion pill, which essentially just starts your period. It kind of starts a little bit of a labor process, obviously not like when you are full on giving birth, but it does dilate your uterus so that the mass can come out. But I took that around like 6 or 7 at night. My boyfriend at the time would come over. He was over for like an hour or two, and then whenever my cramps started getting bad, he pieced out, which, if it's a 17-year-old person, like, obviously they're gonna choose partying over being there for someone. At least that was my experience. So that's like, again, why it's so important to share with your family, especially if you're young and you're going through this. Like, share with someone that can be there for you, because if I hadn't shared with my family, then I would have just been alone experiencing this really painful and traumatic experience. I'm just really grateful that I had my mom with me. And I have told my dad too. Like, I told my dad and my stepmom at the time, and I'm really lucky that I had 3 parents that were just supportive of me. And as much as they might have been disappointed, like, they were there for me, and it explained why I might have been acting out after that too. So it's just better to share with someone, and especially if you're living in a house with people, like, share with those people. So my mom, slept right next to me the entire night, and like I said, I took the pill around 6 or 7, and then I actually passed the massive cells around 4 in the morning, I think. And my mom and I had a little ceremony, And I say massive cells because that's what it was. It wasn't like, it was literally a blob of just, it looked like, you know, how cancer cells are white. That's kind of what it looked like. And I know that some people want to say like, oh, you know, at 4 weeks or something, your baby is almost fully formed and has a spine and all of these things. And it's not true. At least in my case, I don't know if I was just underdeveloped, but that wasn't the case for me. So I call it a massive cells. But it was a soul that left my body. Like, I do recognize that, and that's why my mom and I held a ceremony just in reverence of this soul that it passed on at my hand, essentially. But yeah, we had the ceremony, and I kind of just went on with my life, and I didn't even realize, like, living in that time. Now that I look back, I realize how much I was just coping with alcohol and just partying all the time. But I was just coping, and I was just trying to get through it, and no one really knew what I was experiencing. My best friends did, but that was really it. And thank God, you know, I had my family, and I just, again, I know I said this like twice already, but please, if you've been in this experience, like, please share with someone that loves you and that you love. It just makes the burden so much less to bear, and it's only just gonna like bring light to it and not just make you feel so in the dark. So that's really my like main tip. If you're in this experience, like, just share with someone, because it's gonna be really traumatic regardless. And I think if there's anything else I wanted to say, but really I just hope that this can kind of do away with stigma around abortions. Like, it needs to be drilled in everyone's brain that abortion is healthcare. You're not a murderer if you get an abortion. You're not a shitty person. If you're not equipped to be a parent, then like, have an abortion or give your kid away in adoption. My partner was given away in adoption, and he has an open adoption, so we talked to his birth mom. And so like, those are kind of your options, but just don't think that you have to go through with it because you're going to be a murderer. Like, I know, because I've had a child now, and I know the experience of an abortion, and it's just, I almost think an abortion is harder, but I do know the stress of having a child and just how much it changes your life. And if you're not ready for that change, and I don't think really any 15-year-old is, but if, you know, 15-year-olds have kids all the time, and like, salute to them, because I just can't imagine. But yeah, just try to open your mind to not think about abortion as murder. Like, it's healthcare, and the more that we shed light on it, the less dark is going to be there. So thank you for listening.